Armand de Tooy opened their Osram Rally account with a fine 8th fastest time behind the wheel of the Johns Way Volkswagen Polo on stage 1.
A perfect start for championship contender Enzo Kuhn with teammate Hergen Fecken hot on his heels. Rotenbach completes his first ever Osram stage in 3rd, while the leading Toyota is the privateer version driven by Visser du Plessis. Castrol Toyota have it all to do with Gemmell down in 10th, a full 30 seconds behind his championship rival. The Osram Rally continues after the break, when SA's top gravel road racers come face to face with the mountain stages, where danger lurks around every day of the feared Osram Rally deep in the southern Drakensberg Mountains around the town of Berkeley East. The crews have only completed one stage, and already the mountains have claimed a number of victims. Charles Wilkin retired the Basil Reed Bizard Ford Fiesta after hitting a rock. Mark Ronier had to stop and change a wheel. And Castrol Toyota teammate Johnny Gemmell is way down in 10th as a result of a puncture. At 17 kilometers, stage 2 through Bottleneck is somewhat shorter than stage 1, but just as demanding. It winds its way through more mountains and valleys, leaving the drivers with no room for error.
Without any chance to service the cars after stage 1, it was straight into stage 2 for Hergen Fecken and Pierre Arries. The BP Ultimate Polo found the going slippery, but still set a time of 10 minutes and 24 seconds. As the first car on the road, they would have to wait and see if this time was fast or not.
Right, a keeping over rough here into long, left 3, tightens to 6, no cut, opens. And danger jump, crest, left 2, tightens to 6 over rough, tightens to 6 over rough.
Rally leaders Enzo Kuhn and Guy Hodgson were the next ones into Bottleneck. Kuhn blitzed through in a time of 10 minutes and 28 seconds, 4 seconds slower than his BP Ultimate teammate, but Kuhn wasn't unhappy about it.
Slippy out there, hard work, beautiful race.
It's the first time since the end of the 2009 season that Douglas Judd occupied the right seat of the Jan Habig BP Polo. But Judd needed no time to get used to the speed of the Osram. Habig set the 4th fastest stage time. Every stage on the Osram is new to Conrad Rotenbach and his Ford Fiesta. Experience counts for a lot in these mountains, and although his time was 5th fastest, Rotenbach and Peter Marsh were still finding their feet.
Loose long, 3 left camber, 30. Meet 4 left into late, 2 right long. Into left over crest. Tightens 3 plus is king right over crest.
Mark Ronier and Robert Paisley had it all to do. The Castrol Toyota driver lost nearly 4 minutes in stage 1 and was now on the comeback trail. They completed stage 2 with their 6th fastest time, but lost another 16 seconds to the leaders. Johnny Gemmell and Scottish navigator Drew Starrock were both still feeling ill and enjoyed very little sleep the night before. But the Castrol Toyota driver fought bravely to set the 3rd fastest time of all. It was also good enough to propel him from 10th overall all the way up to 5th.
And fast right. And easy left. 130.
After 2 crashes on the 2 previous events, Hein Latergan and Johan van der Merwe were cautious in these mountains. The Pertec Toyota orders still set the 7th fastest time to consolidate their 6th position overall.
We were a bit cautious here. I think I'm trying to get to the finish hopefully. I think we lost a little bit of time.
It was also a good start for the Johns Way Polo of Nicholas Ryan and Armand de Tooy, who equaled Latergan's time through stage 2 down to every 10th of a second.
To have a new navigator this rally it's quite trying, but he did fantastic. He really did well.
Japie van Niekerk and Robin Houghton are still in the middle of a nightmare season. The Seatrack New Africa Development's Toyota driver is normally one of the most consistent, but recently, Van Niekerk has struggled to get through the early stages. Although Van Niekerk completed stage 2, his rally ended prematurely.
We came around the right 7 crest caution bump, and the right 7 caution crest was fine, but the bump just threw us out a little bit, and we're talking about millimeters, not centimeters here, and I caught the outside of an embankment, and that just sucked us in, and we ran, and I tried to keep it, and it got sucked in, and we rolled.
Team totals JP Damso and Caroline Swan were not taking any risks and completed stage 2 with a top 10 stage time. Jaco van Eyck and Des de Fortier have been improving on every event since the Namibians started competing on South African soil. But on stage 2, the entire rally fraternity got a reminder of just how dangerous this sport can be. Although Van Dijk was airlifted to hospital as a precaution, both driver and navigator escaped serious injury.
We were coming through a left one flat out, and then we took a double caution jump left 2 flat out, and it hit the bank and it went into a roll.
The Pertec Toyota Auris of Visser Du Plessis and Gerard Snyman was the first car to arrive at the scene of the accident. Du Plessis stopped to help and was later awarded an accurate stage time thanks to new tracking devices fitted to each car. It was a good showing so far as he occupied 7th overall on the leaderboard. The 2010 Osram is Evan Hutchison and Alvin Coetzee first outing in the mountains behind the wheel of the Motorride S2000 Polo. Hutchison drove well to complete the early part of the event in a top 10 position.
Yeah, it's terrifying, you know, to try and get your rhythm going when you're up in those mountains and it's a 300-foot drop down the side and you're in 6th gear over a blind crest. It's a difficult thing to get right, you know, so there's a lot of commitment, and we sort of started getting it right, and then we saw Jaco, who's just rolled and rolled and rolled. So that's, you know, that's a real shot to the solar plexus. To try and get your rhythm again after that was quite difficult.
It was also Mohamed Musa and Grant Martin's first attempt at the Osram in an S2000. The Total Evolution Toyota Runex suffered from a puncture on stage 2, but the Tsenin businessman was still within striking distance of a top 10 placing. Musa completed stage 2 around 40 seconds ahead of the Salom Group Polo of Tiens Joubert and Carl Peskin, which in Joubert's own words took way too long to get up to speed.
Hargen Fecken takes over the lead from teammate Enzo Kuhn by a mere 2.6 seconds, while Jan Habich moves past the Fiesta of Rotenbach for a Volkswagen 1-2-3. Gemmel recovers well to move up 5 positions and into 5th, ahead of a very strong showing by Team Pertec's Lateghan and Du Plessis. Evan Hutchison rounds off the top 10. After 2 demanding stages in the mountains, the Osram Rally heads back to Barkly East for a welcome service break. It's a fantastic start for defending champion Hargen Fecken, who manages to lead the event in spite of being the first car over the slippery gravel roads.
Yeah, we had a good start. You know, it's difficult to get your confidence back after you've had 3 non-finishes, so to push is slightly difficult.
Championship leader Enzo Kuhn is only a few seconds back, but his fight is not with his teammate.
There's only 1 second between me and Hergen, but that's not where the race lies, so I think we've got an eye on Johnny, and then he's a bit further back. So, no, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing now.
Jan Habich completes an all-Volkswagen podium at this early stage of the rally, but the multiple champion wasn't yet satisfied with his speed.
Yeah, we had a bit of a ragged start. You know, we just can't get the flow right. We've got a traction problem at the back. The guys are working on it now, and hopefully that'll will resolve it, and then we can get into a good flow and rhythm.
It's a tough start to the event for championship co-leader Johnny Gemmel, who had more than just the mountains to worry about.
No, we had a flat this morning in that first one, and then this one was okay, it was all right. But not feeling too well, I didn't sleep last night.
After losing nearly 4 minutes early on, Mark Ronier's dreams of winning the Osram were shattered.
I think this event, losing 3.5 minutes it's a tall task. I think the only thing you can do is just hang in there and wait for everybody else's event to fall apart, and that's really all you can hope and pray for.
The 2010 Osram Rally is now well underway, and after the opening 2 stages, it's time to tackle stages 3 and 4. Stage 3 is a tricky 31-kilometre affair at Clanville, but times are expected to be in the region of around 15 minutes, which means an average speed of well over 120 kilometres per hour. Stage 4 is to follow immediately after Clanville, and although it's much shorter at only 14 kilometres, it is much more open and flowing, so the speeds should therefore be even faster.
So far, Hergen Ficken and Pierre Arries have done incredibly well to lead the event while also fulfilling the role as road sweepers. The BP Ultimate Polo had a scary moment through stage 3 and set a time of 15 minutes and 10 seconds, but one got the feeling that this time would not be the fastest.
Narrow over bridge, right 6. Whoa, yes, into left 5, easy, no cut, right 4.
Very slippery towards the end. The surface changed, and we had a very big moment at one of the bridges, but yeah, it was good.
Enzo Keane and Guy Hodgson enter Clanville with a 2.6 second deficit. Anything faster than 15 minutes and 8 seconds will therefore be good enough to take the lead. Keane was indeed faster, but not fast enough. Ficken remains in the lead by a slender 1.7 seconds.
I'm quite happy in second. The car feels good, and no delivery is good today. Hodgson's doing his job.
With a gap of nearly 19 seconds, Jan Habig and Douglas Judd are too far back to influence the overall leaderboard on just one stage. But Habig doesn't care about the maths and crosses the line in 15 minutes and 8.1 seconds, more than a second faster than his teammate and the fastest time so far.
It was a bit better than the previous stages, but then I twisted my arm in one of the corners and like it's almost feels like it was dislocated, but it's yeah, it's okay.
Next up, the Ford Fiesta of Conrad Rautenbach and Peter Marsh. Rautenbach has Habig in his sights and needs to beat him by more than 3.2 seconds.
And flying finish.
The Zimbabwean is fast and beats Habig's time by 1.4 seconds, but it's not enough, and he remains in 4th overall, now just 1.8 seconds behind Habig in 3rd.
Yeah, we made a few changes. The car feels quite good, but a stage like that where everything's flat out, it's hard to make up time, everyone's flat.
While Rautenbach and the trio of Volkswagens were battling it out at the top of the leaderboard, Mark Ronier and Robert Paisley were staging a comeback in the Casual Toyota Auris by winning the stage. Ronier's stage win, however, was not enough to turn Casual Toyota's luck around. Johnny Kemmel and Drew Starrock were not only feeling ill, but the Auris developed a nagging misfire that cost him a further 40 seconds. With only 1.7 seconds between 1st and 2nd position and 1.8 seconds between 3rd and 4th, the battle resumed on the fast and flowing gravel road of stage 4. Hergen Ficken and Pierre Arries flew through the 14 kilometers of Faalhoek, but this time the roads were just a little too slippery as they caught out the double champion.
Very long, easy right 6. Over 200 opens.
This is the gap that Enzo Keane and Guy Hodgson were waiting for. On the previous stage, Keane came close to taking the lead, but on stage 4, he was simply breathtaking as he not only won the stage, but finally managed to overhaul his teammates and claim 1st position. Jan Habig and Douglas Judd knew that they had a determined Conrad Rautenbach breathing down their tailpipes. So the 3rd of the BP Ultimate Polos also put the hammer down on stage 4. Their time was just 1.9 seconds slower than Keane's winning time. But what about Rautenbach? The Zimbabweans used every inch of the road in their quest to overtake Habig, but it just wasn't enough. The Fiesta completed Faalhoek in a time just 0.7 seconds slower than their rivals, but the gap between themselves in 4th and Habig in 3rd increased to 2.5 seconds.
late, 3 right plus, continues and slide left over Max Crest, 3 right.
Another fast and competitive time by Mark Cronier and Robert Paisley saw them crawl their way back up the leaderboard, but they still found themselves down in 12th overall. Inside the second of the 2 Castrol Toyota Auruses, the roller coaster ride continued for Johnny Gemmell and Drew Starrock, who was still suffering from that power-sapping misfire. Gemmell lost another 30 seconds to the leaders and plummeted down the leaderboard to 7th position overall.
Yeah, we're losing a bit of power there. We can't do much about that.
Misfire?
Yeah, something's wrong there. Seen out service.
Behind the top 4, the Pertic Toyota Auris of Hein Latergan and Jan van der Merwe was making its mark. Latergan was still driving with an injured hand, but it didn't show as he made 5th position his own after this demanding loop of stages. What's more is that the Pertic Auris was now the leading Toyota in the field. And it was getting even better for the Pertic Toyota squad. Visser Du Plessis and Gerard Snyman were quick to capitalize on Gemmell's misfortunes, and 2 consistently quick times through stages 3 and 4 saw them climb past Gemmell and into 6th position. This was also Du Plessis' best performance since moving to the Premier S2000 class. The Johns Way Volkswagen Polo of Nicholas Ryan and Armand de Tooy was in a strong 8th position at the start of these 2 stages, but Ryan hit a rock in stage 3 which damaged the suspension. With no chance to repair the problem, the damage was carried into stage 4, resulting in a loss of around 4 full minutes.